Hi everybody, Michelle McClunan, astrologer and life navigator, and I'm bringing you an astrology update for the next full moon, which is happening on the 11th of June in the fiery, beautiful sign of Sagittarius. This is a potentially very positive full moon and a real opportunity to rise above our old patterns, to get a higher perspective and to transcend and transmute. It's definitely one of those karmic points as well. The theme of this full moon is definitely communication. Sagittarius is a sign that's linked to communication, and so is Gemini. So at a full moon, we always have the sun on one side, the moon on the other side. They're in opposite signs. So the signs that they're in, Sagittarius is the moon, and the sun is in Gemini, and that is known as the communication axis. In addition to this, there's a very strong connection with Mercury, which is the planet of communication in this full moon. So I'll try and unpack it just to give you a little bit more of the symbolism. If we look at Sagittarius and in terms of what it symbolizes and its energy, I like to see astrology and the planets as energy. I like to often personalize them because it actually then becomes a little bit more real for us. So a full moon, as we know, is always a time of culmination and release. It's a release point in the moon cycle. Now Sagittarius, if you look at where the moon is, that means that the sun is shining its light on the moon and the moon's in Sagittarius. So we look at the themes associated with the moon in Sagittarius. So you look at Sagittarius in respect of the element, first of all. Sagittarius is known as mutable fire. Mutable fire would be the fire in the fire grate that is now spreading its sparks out of the fire. So it's wanting to expand and grow and spread itself into the universe. That's the energy of Sagittarius. It doesn't like to be too contained because then it can't grow. And if it is sort of stifled, then it feels like it's going out. So the energy of Sagittarius is one that does not like to feel too contained. It likes to be able to expand and grow and learn and create a higher perspective. It represents the centaur. The wild seeker. It is half horse, half man. It has a bow and arrow, and it's shooting his arrows out into the universe again to explore, expand, adventure, learn, grow. It's expansive. It's kind of like Sagittarius is the wildfire. Mutable signs are changeable, adaptable, versatile. And what really characterizes mutable signs is the desire to move and grow and not be stuck in one place. As a sign, it's also very associated with higher perspectives, higher learning, evolution, the evolution of the soul. So when you look at that polarity and you look at Gemini and Sagittarius, Gemini is more the rational mind, what we learn, the information that we absorb, how we speak, how we communicate on a daily basis, what we've learned, what we've absorbed in terms of teachers, books, whatever it is. And then what we speak from that. So it's kind of more our academic learning, whereas Sagittarius is definitely more of the higher perspective, higher learning. It's the higher mind, if you like. Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet that we have in the solar system, and it's known as the Greater Benefic. It's a planet associated with opportunity, with higher perspective, with amplification. So whatever Jupiter touches in a chart, or if we have a Jupiter transit, it often means that there's an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for higher intelligence, to access higher truths, to find a higher perspective. So this full moon is really interesting because, first of all, the full moon is obviously in the sign of Sagittarius and Gemini, but it's also in what we call a connection or square to the nodal axis, which is the karmic axis, which means that sometimes when this happens, stuff can come up from past lives, old belief systems, which is also very aligned with Jupiter, old belief systems, old perceptions, old ways of reacting, of communicating, that we may have carried in from past lives or that we may have carried in from this life, from our early lives, that comes up at full moon. So the karmic patterns come up from full moon, at full moon, to actually be released, to be seen, brought into the light of the full moon, and then to be released. So then we look to see where Jupiter is. Jupiter, a couple of days before the full moon, moves into the water sign of Cancer, right next to Mercury, which is the planet of the mind, the planet of communication, and is the ruler of the sun in Gemini. So there's a big connection here and very much a focus. It's kind of that those arrows are being focused into communication, onto the communication axis. How are we communicating? When you look at Jupiter in Cancer, which is a journey that'll take about a month or so, happens once a year that it moves into the sign of Cancer, we bring in the emotional side to it. We bring in the possibility of emotional intelligence, of seeing our emotions, holding a space for our emotions, but not projecting them out as we might do without the higher knowledge, the higher learning, a higher perspective. A perspective where we can actually look and see and hold a space for, but not necessarily react immediately. Now, there could be some reactions coming in here because we also have other planets. We have Mars in a square to Uranus, which I know is all astrology, but that can bring unpredictable shifts. It can bring disruptions. It can certainly bring disruptions in terms of egos, in terms of I need to do this and you need to listen and we need to change this. And there's very little patience. It's kind of an electric energy that's already building before the full moon. That is, by the way, very linked to Donald Trump's chart. So if I were advising Donald Trump, I would say sort of withdraw a little bit from the limelight and from the mainstream and sort of take a step backwards, because it could also be a very ignited energy. So if you're in a situation where there is that energy around, where there are lots of egos, where there are lots of me firsts, then see if you can take some space, because it could be quite volatile. Just remember, this is fire. And we still have Saturn and Neptune that have just moved into Aries, very fiery. Chiron is in Aries, it's fiery. Okay, so this is kind of a karmic crossroads. What we also have is Venus in a square to Pluto, the planet of evolution and the planet of transformation. So that can bring intensity, a layer of intensity into our relationships, those relationships that we have with others, those close relationships, bringing stuff up to the surface that might come up sort of unbidden and unexpected. So we need to just be aware of that it's actually a very exciting energy in terms of it can actually really help us to see the bigger perspective, but we have to choose to do that. And we have to step back into that space of, okay, this is coming up for me, and it could be emotionally driven with this Cancerian symbolism in it. It could be emotionally driven. So if you're feeling things in a deep way, can you hold a space for that feeling? Whatever it is that is arising, without trying to understand it, without trying to fix it, without projecting it onto somebody else as it being their fault. Can we all take responsibility 100% for everything that we have brought into this incarnation and exactly where we are right now? If we choose to change our perspective and just have a perceptual shift, paradigm shift, that every single thing, what if every single thing that has happened to you, that is happening to you, is for your growth. So the suffering, the pain, the loss, the betrayal, the lack, perceived lack, whatever that is, what if it was for your growth? If you make that perceptual shift, you're always winning. It doesn't matter how difficult the situation, how dire the situation is. If you can say, what am I learning from this? How might I be growing from this situation, as uncomfortable as it may be? Can you see that there is a perceptual shift there? It's then, this is an opportunity to growth, to expand, to evolve. And if that's what I'm doing on the planet, growing and evolving and expanding, then this is exactly what I need in this moment. The lower mind, the rational mind, will not see that. But our deeper, higher wisdom knows that. And that is Jupiter. That is our higher wisdom. So it's to actually rise up and out of any drama and see the bigger picture and see what this is serving, how this is serving you uniquely, how this might be serving the situation, and how we might react or respond, rather respond, in a different way. Can we respond in a heart-centered way? If there's a knee-jerk reaction to something, can I just sit with it for a bit? Can I just sit with this discomfort of whatever it might be before I speak? Can I listen deeply within myself in terms of what's going on for me in this moment? Because this person or this situation is simply a catalyst so that I can see my own programming, my own misperceptions, my own conditioning. If you look at it like that, it changes. It's literally possibly life-changing when you actually make that perceptual change, because it takes us out of victimhood. It takes us out of, oh, this is being done to me and I'm just a helpless little bystander. We aren't ever, because we always have a choice of how we respond and how we actually see something. So that's a little bit about the full moon and leading up to it and afterwards. So just be aware, come back into presence, come back into the heart, see if you can see the other person's point. Everybody's moving through something right now. And even those difficult people that happen to be appearing in your life, they're here to teach us something. I did draw a card. It's called Canyon Dancer. I just love the image of this. It's very Sagittarius moony. And it says, break free of old bonds, ancestors, beliefs, and a leap forward. Sorry, this is from the Sacred Horse Pack, which I just absolutely love. Canyon Dancer carries the images of the canyon lands and his herd on his coat. Turkey feathers dangle from his neck as the red sun and eagle feathers behind him support his transition. Even as he takes a quantum leap forward into new horizons, he carries the memories of his life with him. It's time for him to leave his herd and bound into the world to create his destiny. It's very Sagittarian. You carry more history within your cells than the years you have been on this planet. The memories of your ancestors have been handed down through centuries and live in your DNA. Some of these stored memories may be activated and play out in your life, while others remain unconscious. The history and memories of your ancestors' lives can be part of you, regardless of whether you are aware of them. There are wisdoms and limitations within cellular memories. How you, your parents, your grandparents were raised are part of your lineage. Rituals, beliefs, ways of living, and teachings are passed down to each new generation. Your tremendous history can bring a weight of responsibility, expectation, or conformity. Reviewing where you came from can free you to walk your true path. Canyon Dancer invites you to honor all that your ancestors experienced, to determine what to leave behind and what you will carry forward. It's a time to break free of any bonds that might be holding you back. This is a very big theme that continues to come up because this is what the current astrology is saying to us. It's breaking free of the old conditioning. Like Canyon Dancer, you no longer are required to remain within the collective that you're born into. Look deeply at all you have learned. You may bless your ancestors for all they have given you and honor them by extending gratitude in person through letter writing or in meditation. Acknowledging those who have helped you on your journey, both in spirit and physically, will free you to take the giant step you're ready to take now. You can transcend any aspects of yourself that no longer feel authentic to you. With free will, you can choose to leave behind any ancestral conditioning that limits who or how you wish to be, making conscious choices in every moment about your contribution to family lines, honors your roots, and evolves your bloodline. This is a new world, and the ways of the ancestors may no longer support strength and growth. There may be sorrow as you consider this, but there's also hope. Ask whether the beliefs instilled in you are true for you now. It's really important. Leave behind those that limit you and carry forward those that do support you. Canyon Dancer is here to remind you of where you came from and where you wish to be. Align yourself. So point that arrow in the direction that you want to move towards. Align yourself so you can evolve in the way of your choosing. If we are stuck in victimhood and the past, we're not putting our arrow to where we want to be. Where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? How do you want to live your life? Those are really important questions right now. The intense red sun behind Canyon Dancer fills him with the energy he needs. The sun is a reminder of the desires that are ignited or wish to be ignited within you. The spirit of eagle speaks of leadership and achievement. Again, the eagle that looks onto everything and sees all of it. Ground yourself in ancestral wisdom and support and rise from what has been to all that calls you forth. Whether your flight is big or small, reach high and hold a vision of a better tomorrow. As the world changes, it beckons you to change also. Feel it calling you. Canyon Dancer and the mighty eagle are with you every step of the way. Is part of your ancestral lineage holding you back? What might be possible if you release those beliefs and ways of being? It's a good card for Sagittarius full moon. Beliefs. Release the beliefs. What is your evolutionary path? What do you believe that to be? That is often seen in the astrology of your own unique astrology blueprint. What beliefs can you release to propel you forward? So in other words, which ones are holding you back? What power can you muster to follow your heart into a new, beautiful adventure? So I think that really says it for the full moon in Sagittarius. Remember to take a step back, go quiet, listen deeply, communicate when you need to, not just because you want to. And you feel, I really do need to say this. It's coming from a place of truth for me, and I'm quiet when I'm saying it. It'll come out much better if you do it like that than if you do it in the heat of the moment. So wait for the fires to cool down a little bit. Take some time out to spend some time near water and ground yourself. Lots of fire, lots of doing energy. So make sure to make spaces in your doingness. If you enjoy this, please would you subscribe if you have not subscribed, and push the notification button, share it if you think it might be useful to someone else, and comment. Let me know how you're feeling this energy. I love to read your comments. I don't always get to answer them, but I do read them. Thank you. And thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here with me. And if you'd like a reading to see where all these very big patterns are playing out, you're welcome to contact me on my website, and the details are below. Thanks for tuning in, and all the best for the full moon. Take care.